Alright, so here's my video for the actual assignment for how accessing attributes from other classes work. So pretty much with Python, the class defines like the container of the different definitions inside of an object. Um, I think I just said it out wrong, but basically the first thing you do is you create a class. So we'll just name this class name, and then we're gonna do object because it's doing it to itself, and especially using the Google App Engine. Um, we've been working with Flask this month, so it's just a little bit different. Um, all right, so we got our class name here. So the first thing that we would do is we create a basically values that we can put stuff into or an attribute. So we'll do, let's say, self dot name, we'll say, and that's equal to a blank string. We can put data in there or we can feed data into it. It gives us the option to do both, but just for right now, we'll do an empty string. We'll do self dot, I don't know, website. As well too is with these the attributes we can make them private, protected, or public. So if we do private, protected, public. Um, so we'll just make this one private, so that way it's only accessible within inside of itself. Um, so this one we won't be able to access outside of this class, but we'd only be able to do it. Actually, we wouldn't be able to do it at all. So what we'll do is we'll create another class, and we'll just name it class name 2, and then we'll make that object as well. And we'll get the definition. So inside here is where we can start actually calling the different classes over. But because we defined the actual self inside here, what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to pull these names within the whole entire file or even externally. Um, Basically, it's just defining itself as, it's going to want a definition dot name. So we can give it an object dot name or object dot whatever. Um, so in our other class here, what we'll do is we'll do, let's say, Pikachu dot name, and then we can assign that a value of Pikachu. And then now when we actually go to run the actual program, what it's going to do is it's going to look for this variable, and then it's going to pertain the Pikachu.name to self.name, and then it's going to fill that value in. So that way all we have to do is actually just call this piece here, rather than going back, retyping, Pikachu.name each and every single time that we want to do a new character's name. We can just reuse this class here in order to basically organize the code better and display it a lot easier. That way we can track down objects and items and such. So we'll do Pikachu equals, and then we got to do class name. And then what that's going to do is that's actually going to run this definition function, so that way we can define Pikachu to what we want it to do. So now it's able to actually send the name.pikachu up. But if we go to do Pikachu dot, I don't know, let's say website, it's not going to recognize it. Pretty much because this is a protected attribute, it's not going to allow us to actually view it down here. We'd have to use like a different way to actually get it inside of this actual class down here. But basically this is the full understanding of moving stuff from class to class. It makes it a lot easier when you have large amounts of data or like different types of objects that it's going into. Just so that way you can organize it better, you can run better, but the performance wise it helps out with it. But pretty much this is just the basis of it. So the Pikachu will go inside of here when the actual function is called. And then say if we wanted to redefine a new one, so we can reuse that same class above to do like a different one. So we'll say like Squirtle, UIRTLE, I believe, and then we'll do equals class name, and then right below that we can start to define the different objects for it. So we'll say Squirtle dot name equals, And then now this is going to allow us to actually choose the name for the Squirtle. And it's going to run this function here, which calls this up here, and then inputs the data into whatever you want the object to be, and then it changes it for dot name, so that way we can call it in different places and different codes, different pages. It just makes the code a lot more organized and easier to understand, rather than something that it's just a lot over, like all over the place. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much how we would have accessing attributes from other classes work. Pretty much the basic understanding of it, and it's easy enough that it's able to transfer the information back and forth. Thank you.